This lunchbox will also cook my lunch. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I just bought this. It's by LunchEAZE. They're not the only company that makes something like this, but they seem to be, at least from what I can tell, the leader in it. And I have wanted to check out their stuff for a long time because it kind of fits into my prepper, emergency, independent living lifestyle. And it's kind of like a modern electronic MRE in some ways. So what I will say here is that they seem to make two versions of this lunchbox. Now, first of all, I got the cheaper one, which is a little bit more simplistic, I think, than their higher end one. But I think it effectively does the same stuff. You just don't have all of the other connectivity things. Like you can't connect it to your phone and control it that way. And a little simpler LCD screen on it. But first of all, before we open this up and get into it, I want to show you that it comes in this nylon pouch. I would say that all of these sides have some sort of like mouse-like material insulation on there, because I think you can keep the lunchbox in here and actually have it keep everything cool until it starts heating up, and then when it starts cooking it, or heating it up maybe is more accurate, that all of that energy being used will stay inside here. So it's not just a protective case. I believe it is an insulative pouch for the purposes of heating your food. Now, you can see here we have a little door right there, and here is the lunchbox itself. It does come in a few different colors. I think like a salmon, a blue, a gray, and maybe this black. I picked up the black. I thought that was most murdered out. Cool looking, you know, like me. And if Darth Vader had a lunchbox, he's like, let's eat lunch now. This would probably be the one he's using. So first of all, I want to show you that we get some helpful tips here. Oh man, it's kind of a big card. User guide. I may actually have to go through this. But what I also want to show you here is that when I ordered this, not only did I pick the color lunchbox, and this is the electronic portion, but I also picked the color of this retainer clip up here at the top too. And I actually picked it in white, I think, because that was the cheapest. So you can get it in some matching colors, matchy-matchy, but I did not. And it's hinged right here on the back. So as I unclip it, you can see those little clips right there, little barbs. This appears to stay on it. It looks like you can remove it, kind of lift it off of those hinges. Now here is the lunch pail portion itself. And what I want to do is open this up and show you that we get, looks like a stainless steel 850 milliliter tray right there. It's pretty thin, but this is what you would put your food in. And you can see here, kind of like a storage container for your refrigerator, Tupperware. You can lift this up, and we have a plastic lid here and a little silicone seal all the way around, so you don't have to worry about, you know, putting soup in here and leaking out. I also want to show you here that if I open it up, this is where the power cable is, because I was kind of wondering. It's actually a pretty big power cable, 2-prong plug right there, and then we have a single prong, looks like a laptop cable, and decently long. This is something I think you would kind of keep at home. So it's about 4 feet, maybe 3.5 feet long. And the whole point of this thing is that you would plug it in here, charge this bad boy up. I would say that the bottom half here is all battery, and that is so that you can program this thing. You can set the clock here, and then you can tell it when to start heating up. Now, I think it will take a couple hours to heat up. I just hit the power button right there. We really only have a few buttons, and you can see here that it needs to be programmed. So it's kind of flashing clock, kind of like a VCR after it's been unplugged. So I'm going to go ahead and hit these up and down arrows here and see if I can set the time here appropriately. Alright, so got it almost there. If you hold it down, it kind of races through the numbers. So I've got it there, 4:53 p.m. and I'm just going to go ahead and hit this enter button right there and see if it'll take the time. Looks like it did. So it looks like that little icon there that says it's a clock, and that is the current time. That's important because when we set the time for it to start cooking, it's going to start heating up. It looks like we've got heating element here. So it says caution, very hot. That is going to heat up the tray. That is going to be in here, and it's going to slowly raise the temperature all the way to boiling, I think, pretty much. So 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius or centigrade. I'm not sure. I always learned it as Celsius, but I've heard people use centigrade. I don't know. What's up with that? But that means that you could potentially boil stuff and actually sanitized water, I think, and stuff like that. But I actually don't want to eat my food at boiling temperature, so I think for me, 190 degrees is kind of where I want to be, especially if I have something in here like spaghetti or soup, or especially something that I don't want to burn my mouth when I'm eating it, right? So, all right. All right, just took a look through the user guide here, and what I want to show you is that this first one, this little hourglass light, is the meal time setting. So if you set this for a specific time, your meal is going to cook and be ready at that particular time. So depending on the temperature you set, let's say it's 220 degrees, it may take a while for it to get up to that temperature. So it may actually start 2 hours before you want to eat. So if you set this for noon, you're like, I take my lunch break at noon. It might start turning on and cooking at 10 a.m. to make sure that it's at that temperature. If you have a much lower temperature, I think that it just makes the adjustment. So it might start only an hour before, 30 minutes before, to bring it up to temp. But that's where you're going to set the meal time here. Then as you saw here, this icon was for the clock setting. Then what we have here is a manual heat icon. So there is a little thermometer right there. So if I turn it on there, it'll just start heating it up, especially if I don't need a super high temperature. It might be done pretty quickly. And then the last icon there is a little battery icon, and that shows how much battery life we have left. My guess here is that using a battery to heat up something, especially to those kinds of temperatures, is not very efficient. And so I would say that if you're going to use this every day for your lunch pail, I would definitely recharge it every day. I don't know how many times this is going to be able to heat up on one charge, but my guess is that is not a super efficient way to use a battery. So charge it up every day when you get home, all right? So a quick tour when you hit this mode. Right now I don't have any timer set. It's kind of like an alarm on your alarm clock. You can see there we've got the time on there already. It's showing 220 degrees Fahrenheit, so I could adjust that temperature up and down. And then if I hit it again, it's showing 41% on the battery. So what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and charge this up first, make sure that I have a full charge, then we'll fill it with some food, then we'll use it to heat and see what it does. All right, so we've taken a look at this. I've got the LunchEAZE plugged in here. I've got my food tray here, and I have this thing fully charged up. I'm actually going to unplug it because I don't think we would be using this plugged in generally. So that light will probably go off eventually here, but should be fully charged. I do want to show you here, if I go ahead and hit some of these buttons, like mode, this is the time, 3:45 right now, and again, we go through here. I have gone ahead and set this to 170 degrees. You can actually raise these temperatures up here. You kind of hit this button and then the up button to get it into temperature setting mode, but I'm actually going to lower it to 170. What you can see here is I can't actually lower it any more than 170. I'm just going to hit that, set it to 170. I think like 160 is kind of hot soup temperature, so 170 is pretty hot. If I go up to 212 degrees, that's boiling. So I wouldn't want to eat my food at boiling temperature. So I put it here on the lowest setting, actually, purposefully. Now, this is that timer setting, right? So if I were to actually set a time here, then what it would do is it would wait until 2 hours before then and then start raising the temperature, all right? However, we want to just start doing it now. So I'm not going to actually use the temperature. I have the bowl here, which I have cleaned. And because I have such a refined palate, I want to go ahead and put something in here at room temperature and let it cook. And that means we are going to go to one of my favorite dishes by Le Chef, a Boyardee here. And this is spaghetti meatballs. Who doesn't love spaghetti meatballs? And in a very classy move here, they have made the can tearaway. Just, oh, look at that. If this doesn't remind you of being back in the old Italy, I don't know what will. Look at that delicious spaghetti bolognese. All right, one can here. I think I've pretty much got that all in there. I would say you could probably actually put another can in here. So if you really wanted to go all out in that Italian lunch, well, you could certainly do that. But that's, yeah, I'll call it half filled. So actually 2 cans of Chef Boyardee would fit in here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and lock this down. Go ahead and throw it in here. Lock that down. And now what we do is if I just hold this button down, long press it, what I think is it's going to start cooking. So what I want to do is I want to go to heat here and then hold this down. And if I long press it, it's going to start cooking. 75 degrees, 77. 75 degrees is kind of what it is in here. So not surprised that that was the default temperature. Look at that. It's really starting to climb here pretty quickly. I don't know how long this will take. I just want to show you, spin this around here, not plugged in. This is all on battery. And so, it's kind of half appliance, half food. And looks like the display goes off here on the light version, but you can see the little red flame there, meaning it is continuing to cook. So I think once it reaches that temperature, it'll just kind of hold it. I don't know if it'll take 2 hours. So from room temperature to done, I'm just going to kind of look at the clock, like I said, from 3:45 on, and we will see when this gets warm. I actually expect to kind of see some water droplets up here on the top because it's kind of a translucent top here. So, all right. I'm eagerly awaiting my gourmet Italian food. All right. I'll be back. All right. I was wondering what was happening. I can tell you, it does have a little click every now and then, almost like a light switch, like click, click, like very, very silent. It'll probably do it. But I think what it's doing is it's turning on the heater and then turning it off or something. But it's only been about a half an hour, and I wanted to see what progress looks like and how close we are to being able to eat. So as I thought, we're starting to get some little dots right there. I think that's from moisture kind of getting trapped in there, little droplets. I will say I can put my hand on it. It doesn't feel hot. I mean, it feels barely warm, kind of just like it's been sitting out in the sun for a few minutes, but doesn't feel hot at all. Oh, I don't know if you heard it click. Now, the other thing that is probably most important here is what temperature it's at, and you can't tell because the screen goes off to save power. Actually, it might be nice if it were e-ink or something like that, but if I just go ahead and hit this mode button down here, and what happens is it goes on and it shows me the temperatures. You can see it's 151, 152, 153, continuing to move up. I mean, it's moving up a degree a second right here. I don't know, maybe it's taking the temperature, maybe it's actually 160, but we're not that far away from 170, only about 30 minutes or so. And so I'm not sure if the element gets up to 170 and this maybe needs some extra time to get warmed up so that the whole thing is at that temperature, right? If you walk into a room that is 99 degrees, you don't instantly get to that temperature, right? So it's kind of like preheating an oven. So I do want to see, once this gets to 170, I might just crack this open, take a look, and see if it looks like it is at that temperature and try it and taste it, maybe even use the thermometer. Otherwise, we will see how long it takes to get to that perfect Italian spaghetti temperature. All right, I'll be back. All right, it's been 1 hour since I turned this thing on, and I'm just going to hit the button here and see what temperature we're getting. And looky there, it says 181, 180, 178. I don't know why it's going back down, but maybe the thermometer only starts taking the temperature when you request it. But anyway, pretty close to 170. Probably hotter is better. And as I put my hand on here, this is now very warm. It actually feels like those hand warmers, so it's not like, ouch, it's hot, but it definitely feels warm, and we can see a lot more droplets there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to hold this power button down here and turn it off because I don't need it to keep going. That little clicking, I think, turns on the heater as the temperature falls. It's kind of like a thermostat in a home, is my guess, is that once it gets up to temp, it will kind of let the temperature drift down maybe a degree or two and then turn it back on, you know, that kind of thing. So now I can just open this up. I do like the fact that it doesn't seem like overly hot because, you know, then you might need to take around oven mitts. I will also say that I could have put this in that insulated sleeve, but I wanted to see what it would do in just an open air environment like this. If I took this out, put it on my desk or something like that, had it in a work environment, you know, because you might be outside too. It might be colder. It might be 50 degrees outside. So it's going to have to work a little harder. So if I just pull this off, oh, look at that. It's like I'm in a luxury Italian restaurant like Olive Garden or something, right? Oh, look at these premium meatballs in there. All right, so I can smell it, and obviously it's not as gloopy and thick like it is when it comes out of the can and it's cold. So let's just go ahead and try this out here. Oh, Mr. Boyardee knows what he's doing. Delicious. I will tell you what, it tastes just like the way my mom used to make it when she would dump it out of a can into a pot. It tastes very good, and it's warm. So 170 degrees. It actually looked like it brought this up to 180 degrees. And I would say, like, if I put my fork in here and just take a bite, as I mentioned with soup being served at 170 degrees, I think that's the right temperature. I think it's not so hot that you're taking it and you're like blowing on it, making it a little cooler. This is perfect. It can go right in my mouth. Feels hot, feels warm, and I don't have to wait on it. Just feels right. It could probably be 4, 5, 6 degrees hotter too and probably be fine, but I definitely don't think I would want this like at 200 degrees. That would just be too hot. Nor would I want it any cooler. Like, this is the right temperature. It feels warm. Now, the benefit of this is that it is different than microwaving something, right? You can take something frozen or very cold, put it in the microwave, get it hot in a couple minutes, but sometimes it doesn't evenly heat. Something like this is kind of making sure that it will heat all the way through, because it's just kind of heating up the bottom, I think, the heating element down there, and heating this whole thing up slowly. And so if you have vegetables or other things in here, you're not going to have to worry about some stuff getting overcooked, dried out, that kind of thing. So because it's airtight too, all of that moisture is going to stay in here, keeping everything nice and plump and juicy. So I'm really actually impressed by this. And I would say that inside, in room temperature, normal 73, 74 degrees in here, in 1 hour, I was able to take 1 can of spaghetti and raise it to temp. If I were to put 2 cans of spaghetti in here, it might need longer. Maybe the hour was overkill, to be honest, but it's just nice that I could bring this up to temp anywhere without power, without appliances, and have a nice hot meal. So this could definitely be a companion with you on your road trip or camping. I would say if you're going to hike with this might be a little too big to kind of carry around conveniently because it's kind of bulky, it's kind of heavy. But for taking this on the road, in your backpack, in your suitcase to work or school, man, this is really clever. And you're not pulling out the old PB&J or a cold sandwich anymore. You can have a hot dish at lunch. I really dig it. And if you want to pick up this LunchEAZE, the Lite, which I'll be honest, it's not cheap. I paid for this. It was $100-something, $160. Not inexpensive, but if you use this a lot and you get a lot of utility out of hot food, this thing could pay for itself over time. Use it this year instead of going out and eating, instead of paying 10, 15, 20 bucks for a meal, have a hot meal at lunch from home. Man, this could save you a lot of money. So even though the price isn't giveaway, I definitely think it could pay for itself. So if you want to pick up the LunchEAZE or the LunchEAZE Lite like I have here, I think you just might enjoy it. I'll put a link to this in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.